Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Tom Selleck. Have you ever thought about a reverse mortgage for your home? Many homeowners have used a reverse mortgage to pay bills, go on vacation, just enjoy life. Maybe a reverse mortgage is for you. I'm Tom Selleck. I own about 12 different homes because I'm rich. I'd never do a reverse mortgage myself, but I recommend you do it, and you can trust these folks. I've got to go now. It's time to drive the red Ferrari around Hawaii, and my friend TC is going to pick me up in the helicopter, and we're going to go ride by a volcano and a huge exotic waterfall. Corey Johnson with you on a Friday. It's not Tom Selleck, and no, I'm not recommending a reverse mortgage, but maybe a reverse mortgage is for you. All right. A Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Yeah, you right. Fired up for that, huh? The weekend. Work week almost in the books. That 5 o'clock whistle's coming in about an hour. Yeah, you right. Coming in about 15 minutes. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Fridays with Fletcher Mackel from Channel 26. Whoops. From Channel 6. Sorry, Fletch. WDSU Channel 6. Fletcher Mackel's going to join us Fridays with Fletch. Find out about Alvin Kamara. It looks like 3 games. Fletcher Mackel calling that one. And that building on Claiborne's and the I-10. Claiborne's and the Pontchartrain Expressway. I think, what's the sheet say? The New Orleans Saint NFL team, something like that. They play in that building. That iconic structure, 48 years old yesterday. A transformative building. We'll talk with Fletcher Mackel about that. But coming up in about 25 minutes, we'll really talk to Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans, Inc. about the Superdome and how transformative it was and how we could use a transformative project in New Orleans. Fletcher Mackel, less than 15 minutes away. Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans, Inc. about 20 minutes away on the program. Our usual suspects on a Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Coming up in the 5 o'clock power hour. Yeah, you right. Frank Brigtsen is going to join us. Talking food with one of the best in the business, James Beard award-winning chef Frank Brigtsen. St. Bernard Parish. Here's another topic for Michael Hecht. St. Bernard Parish suing the Port of New Orleans to block the $1.8 billion container port project. That is just mind-blowing to me. It really is. It's unreal. St. Bernard Parish, if one of the refineries down there wanted to expand their footprint, build another cracker, employ another 75 folks, St. Bernard Parish folks would be doing backflips for one of the cancer-spewing refineries to expand their footprint. They would love it. They would welcome it. If Kaiser said, we're going to come back and pollute the air and the water and make some aluminum at the old Kaiser facility, we're going to retrofit it, St. Bernard Parish folks would be loving it. You're getting a clean container terminal down in Violet. You're going to parlay it into a hurricane evacuation route, which is so desperately needed down in St. Bernard. But the folks in St. Bernard Parish, I mean, looking a gift horse in the mouth? I mean, St. Bernard Parish suing the Port of New Orleans to block a nearly $2 billion port facility that doesn't pollute. Containers being loaded on, loaded off of ships, put onto rail cars, put onto the back of 18-wheelers. It's mind-blowing. and you're going to get an access road linking that facility, Violet, St. Bernard, to the I-510 directly. And if you really play your cards right, maybe you finally get that Florida Avenue Expressway built that St. Bernard Parish residents have deserved, something they deserve. For over 50 years, they've been talking about that. Following the Florida Avenue Street, following the 40 Arpit Canal, right into Paris Road, into a future I-510. It is mind-blowing that St. Bernard would be fighting instead of thanking God. My God, we're getting a $2 billion port facility. We're finally moving back up. Finally, a huge employer in St. Bernard that doesn't just pollute our parish. I was in St. Bernard after Katrina. I was down there. You know what happened every time you had to leave St. Bernard? That, I don't know, I guess maybe up to, I'm guessing it was a good 5-6 weeks after Katrina. Definitely those first 2 or 3 weeks. And I think I went back after those first 2 or 3 weeks. Every time you left St. Bernard Parish, there were fire trucks at the parish line. Not worrying about you coming from Orleans into St. Bernard. Leaving St. Bernard and going into Orleans is what they were worried about. Bringing toxic sludge. You should have seen this dark black, almost purple, thick soil-like substance that stuck to your vehicle about 3 or 4 inches off the vehicle and all underneath the vehicle. Literally, firemen with fire hoses, as you would leave the parish, spraying that toxic-laden sludge off of your car so you wouldn't drag it into Orleans Parish. Where do you think all that went? Just washed away? A lot of that's in the soil in St. Bernard. No, but St. Bernard residents would bend over backwards from some cancer-causing plant, yet are fighting this container port. I hope this is all posturing, and I'm just seeing it wrong. Please, someone with authority in St. Bernard say, Corey, we're for the port facility more than the Port of New Orleans wants the port facility. We are aching for it. But yeah, we're playing hard to get at the altar because we know they want it. They've already purchased the land. They're doing all this due diligence. The state, everybody's behind it. It's a, quote, go. But we want to make sure this access road from the port to the I-510, at least that is being built. And ideally, we parlay this into a Florida Avenue Expressway. Please, someone in St. Bernard, tell me you're playing the wise poker hand, the savvy hand, that you are 110% for the port facility. But you want the infrastructure upgrades. You don't want an airport built without an access road off the interstate to that airport, as an example. I hear you, St. Bernard. I hope and pray that's the deal. I hope and pray that's the story, that you folks are hell-bent to get this facility. Wink, wink, but we're parlaying it, wink, wink, into making sure we get an access road to I-510, a hurricane evacuation route. And ideally, that Florida Avenue Expressway going all the way to Elysian Fields, right there to I-10 and I-610. I hope that's the place, St. Bernard, where life is hard, hard, hard. Leidenheimer Baking Company, Leidenheimer French bread, the French bread of New Orleans and beyond. A few dozen states getting Leidenheimer French bread shipped daily from New Orleans. From New Orleans, Orleans Parish, over 125 years, 5 generations, family owned and operated, and yes, still baking that Leidenheimer French bread you love right here in the city. Served in the city's finest restaurants, that po' boy you love, of course it's on Leidenheimer French bread. One of the key ingredients. Good to the last crumb. Leidenheimer French bread. Leidenheimer Baking Company since 1896. Wow. Corey Johnson with you. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Fletcher Mackel's going to join us. Find out what's going on with your New Orleans Saints. Training camp. Alvin Kamara, Cam Jordan signing a 2-year extension. He'll end his career in New Orleans. His entire career with the Saints, Cam Jordan. Fletcher Mackel next. Michael Hecht in about 15, 20 minutes from Greater New Orleans Inc. Frank Brigtsen in 1 hour. The 5 o'clock powwow. It is a Fantasy Friday. The weekend's upon us. Yeah, you right.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool, New Orleans. NOLAAC.com is your cool spot.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Veterans Boulevard, where the brothers Fausto and Roland are serving some of the city's finest Sicilian and Italian cuisine. From New Orleans' first family of Sicilian and Italian cooking, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
The French bread of the city of New Orleans. Good to the last crumb. Leidenheimer French bread.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
When a young man comes in and they walk into our store and you can see they're a little intimidated. Last week, I saw the young man. I said, "Hey, what can I do to give you a hand?" And he said, "Well, I'm here for an engagement ring, but I don't think I'm in the right place." So I got him to my desk, and within an hour, he had purchased an engagement ring, had spent $1,000, and he was treated like he spent a lot more, and I'm sure we have a customer for life. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Did you know Rouse's sells only Angus beef? Angus beef's natural marbling means more succulence and flavor. Whether you choose Rouse's USDA Prime, Choice, or Select, it'll be only Angus beef when you get it at Rouse's. Tastes like home.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Yeah, you right, Crescent City and beyond. It's hot out there, no doubt about it. But it's not raining, and that means you can knock out that paint project or get your crew to knock out that paint project. Where do you get the paint, all the supplies? You know where. Come on, it's New Orleans. Helm Paint and Decorating, family owned and operated for over 50 years. High quality Benjamin Moore products. They literally will steer you in the right direction. There's no other place to go. 7 locations in Metro New Orleans, East Bank, West Bank, North Shore, plus free 2-hour delivery anywhere. Pick your Benjamin Moore colors online. Call one of the 7 Helm Paint and Decorating locations. They'll bring it to you absolutely free, plus all the supplies, everything you need. Knock out that paint project, Helm Paint and Decorating. It is a Fantasy Friday edition of the program. A little after 4:20. Let's head to Mid-City, New Orleans. It's usually an off day for him. Fletcher Mackel from WDSU Channel 6 Sports joins us. What up, Fletch?
Not a lot, Corey. How are you?
Good. Is it an off day today, or they got you working?
It was supposed to be an off day, but then Cam Jordan, decided to stay around, and Alvin Kamara, the NFL, hands out a suspension. So it's turned into a work day.
Fletch, you, of course, said a 6-game suspension. I said 3. I was right. You were right.
Yeah, no. You said we could discuss it, and I told you and Doug Mouton was locked in with you, and I just thought y'all were crazy that it was just it just seemed like and look, I'm not going to rub it in too hard because I told you it was going to be 3 max of 4, and it was 3, and it just seems like the NFL, because I know you told me, you said it doesn't matter what the final verdict is. And that's where I feel like the NFL has changed a lot. It does matter what the final verdict is. That the years of the NFL playing judge, jury, and executioner when a guy is arrested or when the initial happening unfolds, those days are in the past. That the NFL doesn't take any action against any player anymore until all the legal proceedings are wrapped up. And then they look at it and make a decision. And so I get it. Look, let me say it. Look, Kamara was very good today. He owned it. He said he embarrassed himself, his mother, his family, the Saints. He's sorry. But that being said, at the end of the day, yes, it was on video. Yes, he admitted it. Yes, it was an act of violence. It was a battery. I mean, it's a misdemeanor now. It was no contest to a lesser charge. But here's the thing: at the end of the day, that matters. That like a misdemeanor of no contest matters. And I just always felt that that's how the NFL is going to look at it.
Did you ever see the Happy Days episode? You probably were a little too young for this. Fonzie had to admit he was wrong. And he was like, I was, and he almost couldn't get it out. I feel like Fonzie, Fletch.
And here's the thing. I'm not trying to gloat. I've been wrong on a lot of things.
You should gloat.
When we talk about this, look, I told you Taysom Hill 2 years ago was going to beat out Jameis Winston and be the starting quarterback. And Jameis Winston was the starter. Like, we all have different opinions, and that's what makes sports talk so great. But again, ever since, the things got resolved a few weeks ago, right before training camp, when they settled, he pled no contest, it's over, and everything is case closed. I just felt like, okay, the victim has now settled with him. They've worked everything out in Vegas. This is a no contest to a misdemeanor for a first-time offender who is also gone. And I think it was probably going to be 4 in his meeting with Goodell, and Goodell seeing that he is, serious about understanding what he did. Yep. He feels bad about it. He wants to move on. I think it's probably like, okay, let's give him 3.
Fletcher Mackel's with us. What does that mean? Titans in the Dome, at Carolina, at Green Bay. He'll miss those first 3.
Yep, and be back for week 4 against the Buccaneers. So again, look, missing any time, he's arguably the most important player on the team. I mean, Carr's the most important player because he plays the most important position. But Alvin Kamara, when he's healthy, is a tremendous asset that helps you win games. So having him gone at the beginning of the season is not good. Tennessee can ground it and pound it. And they got a good defense. So, but look, I think this could have been a lot worse. There was a time when this could have been a felony. It could have been 6 games. It could have been a lot worse. I think given what unfolded and what transpired, this is a win for the Saints, and you have him back with 14 games to play, and that's very important.
Hey, Fletch, let me ask you this, and I swear I'm not being critical. Why a lot of the time are these stories broken nationally? And is that just with small market teams, or do you and your cohorts in other markets complain that these national guys get these stories and sometimes the local guys don't? What's the word on that?
So I talk about this a lot, and it's a good question. And sometimes you speak at like a men's club or a women's club or an event, and people ask you questions about that. And my answer is always because what we cover locally has national reach and impact. The biggest stories now because of social media. You remember a time, I remember a time, I worked in this business when the newspaper came and you woke up and saw that story on the cover of the newspaper. Oh my God, I didn't know that. Or you put on the 5 o'clock news. I mean, your family was, part of some of the best news, local news in the last 50 years. Of the 5 o'clock news comes on. I don't know what's happening. I need to catch up. Now, in the days of social media, in this 24-hour news cycle, that is not how this business works. And locally for news, some news stories don't have the same reach nationally. The New Orleans Saints in the NFL is a national brand. The Pelicans are a national brand in the NBA. So therefore, Adam Schefter gets the story 5 minutes before the local guys do, because Adam Schefter has a national platform on ESPN. Oh, by the way, when that news broke, they were in their NFL live show, and he has 7 million Twitter followers on social media. So that's how it works now. And
I got you.
We can like it or not like it, but it's not going to change. And so, like, sometimes people will tell me, you got to fight to break those stories. Yeah, well, you know what? Then I'm fighting a battle that I will never in a million years win. That's like somebody telling you, go back to typewriters. Those computers, they may not print right. They may not talk to the printer. You're so much safer if you just use a typewriter. I'm not saying I like it, but it is the world we live in. Woj and Shams are going to get all the breaking basketball news, and Schefter and Rappaport are going to get, or not all of it, but like 95% of it. And again, it's not that we don't get it.
Yep.
It's that they're going to give it kind of the trickle-down effect. They're going to give it to the guy with 7 million followers in the national TV platform, and within minutes, they're going to feed it out to the local guy. But the national guy breaks it. And again, it's just, if you accept it, you understand it, and we all move on and work in other ways and can still do good work that's relevant in that people want. But if you try to think of a time and place when the news came on at 5 and nobody had seen anything that day because the internet didn't exist, then you're living in a world again. That's kind of like a Make America Great philosophy of, I remember a time and place that will no longer exist again.
Fletcher Mackel's with us. Another edition of Fridays with Fletch. Cam Jordan signs a 2-year extension. He'll end his career with the Saints, his entire career in New Orleans, unless something crazy happens down the road, which no one foresees. Hey, real quick, Fletch, about 30 seconds. Any standouts at Saints camp to report? Any news that is sort of interesting or positive or negative?
I think Jake Haener has completely outplayed Jameis Winston for the backup quarterback job. And if they had to make a decision today, I would feel more comfortable going with Jake Haener as the backup.
Wow.
And Jameis is the emergency. That's how bad Jameis has looked and how good Haener has looked.
I wonder why Jameis has looked so bad. Is he not a practice QB? Is he more of a gamer? That's weird. All right. The Big Ten, my God. What are they going to change their name to? Like the Big 17? What's it going to be?
Look, here's the thing. I heard somebody say this. The Big Ten and the SEC are Coke and Pepsi, and everybody else is Tab right now. That the Big Ten and the SEC are probably going to be two big mega conferences in the next 5 to 7 years, and everybody else is going to be left with the crumbs.
Is the Pac-10 going to just go away?
Yeah, I mean, the Pac-12, just so you know, and it probably is going away. I mean, look, they may do a merger with the Mountain West, but look, they lost Arizona yesterday to the Big 12. They're going to lose Arizona State and Utah to the Big 12, and now they're talking about Stanford and Cal jumping to the Big 10 as well. So the Pac-12 is the Oregon State, Washington State. Some of those schools are going to be left out and have to join like the Mountain West.
Fletch, 20 seconds. Tulane, where do they go?
Where do they go?
Conference-wise.
They're stuck in the American. They're not going anywhere. They're not part of the conversation for any of this.
They're not. There's no shot of any of them going to one of the mega conferences.
Zero.
Wow, zero. All right.
Not zero, but like less than 5% chance of them jumping to like the SEC or the Big 12 or the Big 10.
Yeah, I think the demise of the Pac-10 or whatever, 12, is not good for Tulane indirectly. We'll talk about that next week. Thanks, Fletch.
All right, Corey.
That's Fletcher Mackel, Channel 6 Sports. Corey Johnson with you. Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans Inc. is next.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
For over 20 years, serving healthy, fresh, authentic Middle Eastern cuisine, Lebanon's Cafe. In the Carrollton section of Uptown on the streetcar line. Wednesday through Monday, 11 a.m. to 9:30. Lebanon's Cafe.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom-made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
For Leidenheimer Baking Company, producing the perfect French bread is more than a vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop, for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
1970 was an exciting time in New Orleans. The first Jazz Fest was held, the city hosted its first Super Bowl, and the first Helm Paint location opened on Earhart Boulevard. While the floppy disks, mood rings, and pet rocks may have come and gone since the 70s, Helm Paint has grown to become your premier source for quality Benjamin Moore products, competitive pricing, and personal service. Please visit one of our locations today and we'll meet our competitors' prices on any identical product. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
It's a little George Porter and his running podnas. Corey Johnson back at you on a Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Thanks for finding us. So many ways to do it. On radio, lots of ways to check us out. Hey, remember this. CareTalks.com has each and every way you can watch, listen to the program. Corey spelled Kaare, CareTalks.com, our website. Lots of radio stations to check out the program. Kind of a little mini network. Oh So Fine, 93.9 FM. 93.9 FM. New Orleans' own 107.9 FM. 107.9 FM. 600 AM from Baton Rouge to Pensacola, Florida. All up and down the I-10, I-12 corridor, 600 AM, 1560 AM. YouTube, yep, live streaming right now, 2 big hours, 4 to 6 o'clock weekdays, our fledgling YouTube channel. We're trying to get that bad boy going. I'm terrible at social media, trying to get better at social media. I readily admit it, not hiding from it. Our YouTube channel, live, local, every weekday afternoon, 4 to 6 o'clock. Click to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It don't cost nothing. Absolutely free. Send the link to other folks. Let us grow that station, that channel. Corey Johnson, Neutral Ground on YouTube. Hey, the first 90 minutes of the 2-hour talk radio program on television. That's right, Cox Channel 4 TV, all over Louisiana. Spectrum Channel 333 television, all over Louisiana. If you subscribe to Cox Television, that's your TV provider. Yorview, Louisiana, Cox Channel 4, anywhere in the state. If you're a Charter television subscriber, a.k.a. Spectrum, Spectrum Channel 333, all over the state. Yeah, you right. Like I said in the beginning, CareTalks.com has all that information. Fletcher Mackel just joined us. Fridays with Fletch. Coming up in just a minute, Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans, Inc. That segment, by the way, always brought to you by Latrim, the global manufacturing giant that continues to grow decade in, decade out. Born, based, bred right here in New Orleans. They're hiring. You want to be a part of that culture of innovation? East Bankers, West Bankers. Latrim's got you covered at their over 80-acre campus under the UEP Long Bridge. Convenient, right there in Elmwood. You North Shore folks, you don't have to traverse the causeway, don't have to head south across the lake. You can just beeline down I-12 to Latrim's North Shore facility where they're hiring. For a full listing of positions available, go to Latrim.com. Latrim spelled L-A-I-T-R-A-M, Latrim.com. It is a Fantasy Friday edition of the program. That means Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans, Inc. joining us. What's up, Michael?
What's up, Corey? We're having a barbecue over at a place with all of our staff. We're having, a little relaxing thing, but we had to move it inside this year. It was just
yeah, it's stifling.
It was. I mean, it's like weird hot outside, right?
Yep. Someone might mistaken you for some barbecue if you stay out there too long. Hey,
I was making my super burgers though. They're pretty special.
All right, now I got Frank Brigtsen coming on in the 5 o'clock power hour, so he's going to have a good recipe. What's your super burger all about, Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans, Inc.?
It's got a couple of things going on in it. One, it's really a meatloaf. I put some breadcrumbs and a little egg in there to lighten it up.
Nice.
But then on terms of the flavor profile, I've got some Dijon, which gives it a high note. But then I put some coriander and cumin, which gives it kind of a sweet, kind of almost a lemony floral note, almost an Indian kind of flavor profile. So it ends up being a very light eating burger until it's not. It's kind of it's like a soft hotel bed.
It sounds
of a hamburger.
It sounds really good. I like it. As long as it's a first time slept in soft hotel bed, that's always
No. These are all fresh made, all virgin burgers.
There's no dead body underneath the burger bun, underneath the hotel bed, huh? It's just it's all right, huh?
No, you could use a blue light, and you'd find nothing.
All right. That actually, honestly, Michael, that sounds absolutely fantastic. And you mentioned coriander. Any Corey, even with an ander on the end, added to something is going to make for a great meal.
That's a great point. Corey makes anything better.
Corey makes anything better. Ander, Johnson, whatever it might be. Michael Hecht's with us from Greater New Orleans, Inc. Michael, yesterday was an interesting day as a native New Orleanian for me, just as a kid growing up during this era and this thing being constructed. 48 years ago today, they cut the ribbon on the Louisiana Superdome, the Caesars Superdome. From 1972 to 1987, that 15-year period, 25 high-rise buildings, office towers, and hotels were constructed in New Orleans. 25, our modern skyline from 1972 to 87, that 15 years, 25 buildings built, all brand new from the ground up, including the anchor, the Superdome. Boy, hard to imagine what the city would be without the Superdome. Maybe a city without the Saints. Maybe a city without NBA. Maybe a city that's just totally different from what we know today.
Yeah, no, it's incredibly. In fact, I didn't realize that, but I'm going to talk about that to people because the point of it that's so important for people to understand is that if you don't make these bets on the future, you don't have a future. I know that when the Superdome was proposed, it was criticized, it was denigrated. People said it would never work. When they chose the location, they said it was the wrong location. But as you said, New Orleans is unimaginable without it. And so I think we should celebrate the birthday of the Superdome, but also there's a real important lesson there about taking chances, about having vision. And it says that, we want to be critical. We want to be good stewards of the public dollar. But, leading a city is about two things at the same time. It's about making sure you don't trip when you're walking. But at the same time, it's about knowing you're going somewhere. And I think that the Superdome is an extraordinary example of that because New Orleans without the Superdome was unthinkable. But at the time, it was kind of a shoot the moon type of proposition. So, when people kind of poo-poo big ideas, they should remember the dome.
No, exactly. No dome, no Saints. That no dome, no Super Bowls, no Final Fours. I mean, we go on and on. I mean, all the Pope, the Republican Convention, the Rolling Stones. I mean, Ali, Duran. I mean, Leonard. We can go on and on and on and on forever about what the Dome has done to New Orleans, anchoring the new Poydras Street, all the buildings that went up because of the Dome. It's absolutely invaluable and continues to be, Michael. And they just pouring. It's going to end up being about $1 billion when they're all said and done in the last 20 years poured into the Superdome.
No, that's right. And it's amazing that the Dome has continued to be a first-rate facility. And I think it's fantastic. I mean, most facilities its age have been long torn down.
Yep.
And the fact that we've been able to continue to reinvent it and make it relevant and financially possible is incredibly important, because it's an iconic building. It's gorgeous. I mean, it's a beautiful, beautiful architectural piece.
It is.
And so I think it's really, I think it's wonderful that we continue to put money into this facility instead of building, something generic, which is what would replace it and cost us, frankly, a lot more money than the $500 million we're putting in right now.
Yeah, no doubt. It's a brick, what house. It's overbuilt. And it's kind of interesting how our city, when you go back to our original structures of like heart pine and cypress, sort of termite and waterproof, we've got old buildings and old structures that are the same way. You don't tear them down, you redo them. The Dome's a modern new building, yet overbuilt like our old structures, and you just keep redoing it, reimagining it. And boy, these new additions, these atriums, just all these positives that they're doing to the Dome, getting ready for the Super Bowl, is incredible, Michael.
But what I do have to say, I do miss the big ambulance ramps. I love those. I just, there's something about them that was so fantastic. The ability to go down this big slide in the middle of this structure. I don't know. There's something fantastic.
Well, they still got a few of them, but they removed a few as well to expand the concourses, and it was really a smart idea. Dave Dixon was a genius. The architects were geniuses. It was just it's an incredible building that just keeps getting redone, and it should be getting redone.
It should be. And bringing the retail down to the street and creating more of a street level experience is just smart, because that's what's been missing from it, from the beginning, is that it's been kind of a fortress and it's never activated the neighborhood around it. They've made some attempts to, with like Champion Square, but the reality is that because you have to kind of go up the ramps and you don't really begin to have your experience until you're up on that mezzanine level.
Yep.
It's never integrated and kind of created a positive knock-on effect with the neighborhood around it. The neighborhood around it's been kind of quiet. So the fact that they're pulling it down, I think, is going to activate Poydras Street and the area around it in a way that's going to be good for everybody.
And there's even a part they aren't even talking about yet that the future is going to be bright. The Claiborne side of the Dome. It's like untouched since 1975. You get that erector set Claiborne high rise removed. You could have a green space all the way down Poydras to Galvez to Broad Street. Hey, Michael, hang on. We're coming right back. Michael Hecht is with us from Greater New Orleans.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
What actually lasts a lifetime? Not much, but at Helm Paint, we have something guaranteed to last a lifetime. Benjamin Moore's Regal Select. This paint and primer in one offers cutting-edge waterborne technology, smooth application, and long durability. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, your New Orleans paint store.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets has daily lunch specials Monday through Friday, and their entire lunch menu is available too. Open 11 a.m. through 2:30 p.m. For the finest in Sicilian and Italian cuisine, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
For over 120 years, New Orleans' very own Leidenheimer French bread.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Yeah, you right, Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. Thanks so much for joining us. Michael Hecht's with us. Hey, Michael, the Superdome obviously was a transformative project on so many levels: race relations, NFL, Super Bowls, downtown, building boom, economy, all of this. For 1970, 1 million people in Metro New Orleans. 1980, 1.3 million, more than today. 300,000 additional growth, population in the decade of the 70s, a 30% growth rate. The Dome, all those buildings helped that. Transformative. You said taking chances, having vision. The airport is a type of transformative project. The only downside is, and I'm just talking generally speaking, in this what we're talking about, you're just replacing an old building with a great state-of-the-art new building. I love the new airport. It's a great building. It's sort of hidden where it isn't seen. I wish you could see it more from like the interstate or wherever. But, that's being picky. I love the new airport. But it isn't, we didn't have an airport and you're bringing in an airport. Tulane Stadium really wasn't an NFL stadium. It was a college stadium. The NFL, the Dome was already on the drawing board in the 60s when we got the Saints. So that was a transformative project, I think, more so than like the new airport, which I love and I'm not knocking one bit. So glad it's there. We need another transformative project. It's been a long time. I'm just making stuff up. We're not getting a new Causeway Bridge, but it would be something like that. Interstate Loop, Mississippi River Bridge at Chalmette. Something transformative, a car plant with 4,000 employees, Microsoft with 500 jobs in the CBD. What can we do, public, private, transformative project that gets people in the city excited and gets people outside the city seeing New Orleans' potential and growth?
A lot of what's happening that kind of fits in the transformative category, Corey, is in energy. We've got the biggest project financing in world history down in Plaquemines, $21 billion. We've got $80 billion of projects right now that are happening in carbon capture. We're coming kind of the offshore wind center for, all of the country. So I think that is probably in energy, and it's not a singular, kind of building or place like the Superdome. So you're not going to see it as much, but in terms of being transformative, I think that's the one that kind of fits that bill, the most. I think that's the one that I would say, Corey, is kind of the one that kind of is most in that realm of transformative. Frankly, it's what's happening in energy.
Mike, I was shocked when I read St. Bernard Parish suing the Port of New Orleans to block the $1.8 billion container terminal, and was critical in my opening. I was like, what's wrong with you St. Bernard residents? If they wanted to expand some, cancer producing refinery down there, you guys would be all for it. They're bringing in a green essential business. You're moving containers from ships to trains, ships to 18-wheelers. I can't believe you looking this gift horse in the mouth, cutting off your nose to spite your face, all of this. And then I try to give them the benefit of the doubt, and I go, please, St. Bernard people, tell me you want the port facility more than the port, and you're simply parlaying this into an access road to 510 and eventually a Florida Avenue Expressway. That's all I can hope and pray for. If there is literally St. Bernard saying, we don't want this facility, I swear, Michael, it almost makes you say as like a Port of New Orleans person, just like, okay, great, we'll move it to Plaquemine. It's mind blowing to me. How can St. Bernard be embracing this?
The port is going to be fantastic for St. Bernard. It's going to create 18,000 jobs, the estimate total. Not all in St. Bernard. It'll be the whole region, but a lot will be in St. Bernard. Not just the port, but manufacturing, distribution, clean industries. It's without this, St. Bernard doesn't have that much economic future, is the hard truth of it. It's going to have to try to exist as just a bedroom community, which is not great for the parish in terms of tax revenue. So there is a small contingent that is against the port for intensely personal reasons that don't have the best interests of the parish or the region, as their motivation. And that's probably who's behind this. I don't think it's going to win. I don't think it's going to work. I think it's a bit of political theater.
Yep.
But it is, it's a shame because if you talk to people in the parish, including those who publicly have been quiet because of this pressure, they will all tell you this is exactly what the parish needs. It makes the parish relevant.
Exactly.
It's clean. I mean, Corey, I'm sitting here talking to you now, 3 blocks from the current container port. It's not. It doesn't disrupt your neighborhood, and this one's going to be much cleaner than the current one that I'm living near. It is. People who really love St. Bernard objectively are excited about doing the port in the right way.
This is the best news for St. Bernard maybe in my lifetime as far as a major project. It is the exact opposite of we're shutting Kaiser down 40 years ago.
That's right. So I got to dig into the lawsuit, but I assume it's just
political.
A lot of these things are just, performance.
Yep.
They're not going to go anywhere.
Yep.
It's so the DA can say, I tried.
Yeah, election year nonsense.
Yep.
No, I think that's the truth. I agree with you. I think most St. Bernard people are probably really excited, and it's the future of the port. Michael, always a pleasure, man. Let's do it again next Friday.
All right, KJ, have a glass of wine with an ice cube in it. Stay cool.
Exactly.
I'll talk to you in a couple. Praying for peace in the hurricane season.
One ice cube in the wine, one ice cube on my head. Thanks, Michael.
That's right.
Yep. That's Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans Inc. Uh-oh, that's Blue Boy. What's that, buddy? Stick around. We're going to talk food with Frank Brigtsen in the 5 o'clock powwow like we always do. That's a good one, buddy. That's a reason to stick around. What else? It's a Friday. Gonna have some fun. Yeah, you're right, Blue Boy. Stick around, like my buddy says.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333.
Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
Hi, it's Ken Friend from Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business. Come see us over on Maple Street in Uptown.
Friend & Company Fine Jewelers, Breitling time, 5 p.m.
River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
5 generations, family owned and operated. Leidenheimer French bread.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamarck team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamarck Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
Hi, this is Joey Helm. My dad, Bunky Helm, had a vision of a locally family-owned store serving the residential and commercial paint needs of New Orleans. I think Dad would be proud of today's Helm Paint and Decorating, and here's why. We have the best technical staff in the business, providing the best color matching service in Southeast Louisiana. Perfect matching for any color and any brand. And we'll save your colors so you don't have to save those old cans. Helm Paint offers free 2-hour delivery. Our in-store decorators will assist you on deciding what color and type of paint to best showcase your home. But most importantly, as your local independent Benjamin Moore dealer, our products provide the greatest value in the paint industry, superior coverage, and Benjamin Moore paint simply covers better and lasts longer. New Orleans is a city of vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, let us steer you right. Helm Paint and Supply.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom-made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Hi, everyone. It's Tommy Wrong for AsbestosMoneyGrab.com. This is not, I repeat, not for folks with real asbestos problems. But if you're like me and we're maybe taking a shop class in high school where you maybe breathed in some brake dust and you know for certain you're fine, but you're the type of person that takes advantage of these types of situations, get tested, lawyer up, and steal some money like me. Go to I'm not really hurt at all, but like exploiting the system for free cash.com.
Yabba dabba do. So crazy. Every time we have a Flintstones opening, like the night before, I went out to that drive-up rib place, in the city, got a rack of ribs, hooked to the little plate on the side of my car, and my car flipped over on its side because the rack of ribs was so large, just like Fred Flintstone in the cartoon. Same thing. Crazy. It's so weird. It's like deja vu all over again. It is a mess, too. Ribs come flying through the window of the car, sauce all over the place. You can't get that smell out, but the ribs are so damn good and such a large rack that, yes, it will tip the vehicle over. It's not the Flintstones. Corey Johnson with you. Yeah, you right. It's the 5 o'clock power hour on a Fantasy Friday edition of the program. If you missed the 4 o'clock hour on a Friday, you missed a lot. The usual suspects. Fridays with Fletcher Mackel joining us to gloat. I thought Alvin Kamara would get a 6-game suspension. Fletcher said 3. He nailed it. He was right. I was wrong. He got to gloat and run me through the ringer in the 4 o'clock hour. Michael Hecht joined us from Greater New Orleans Inc. for that last half hour. Always good stuff from Michael. Coming up in a few minutes, because it is a Fantasy Friday edition of the program, Frank Brigtsen's going to join us from the Riverbend, from the Carrollton section of Uptown, from his award-winning restaurant, where you can see his James Beard award-winning medal in a little frame right by the chef's table in the hallway at Brigtsen's. We're going to talk food with Frank Brigtsen in less than 15 minutes, in a little over 10 minutes from now, around 5:20, like we do every week. Yeah, you right. Love talking food with Frank Brigtsen. Like I said, James Beard award-winning chef, but just a yaddy New Orleanian, humble guy. Humble. And just as good a chef cook as there is anywhere. His restaurant could be in New York, in Paris, in San Francisco, and it would be critically acclaimed just like it is here in New Orleans. St. Bernard Parish suing the Port of New Orleans to block the $1.8 billion container port project. I hope and pray St. Bernard folks want that terminal more than the port even, and they're simply posturing to parlay this into a access road from that port facility in Violet, from Chalmette, from St. Bernard to I-510 directly. Hurricane evacuation route, long overdue access road. Hopefully that's what they're doing. Simple posturing. Alvin Kamara, 3-game suspension, as I alluded. Oh, boy, Cam Jordan signing a 2-year extension with the Saints. That's good news. Yeah, you right. What's that, Jason? It's a little after 5 o'clock. 100% of the work week in the books. You are correct. 100% of the weekend smack dab in front of us. That's true. I like this little limbo period right now. Work week in the books. Weekend just starting. Smell the roses. We put the spotlight on this very time of the week. We do it by blowing the 5 o'clock whistle. We do it by blowing the 5 o'clock whistle. Yeah, you right. That's right. Head out of the plant. You got the lunch pail under one arm, the hard hat under the other. The work week's done. It's weekend time. Grab a Miller. 5 o'clock whistle, appropriately brought to you by Katie's. Why aren't you at Katie's right now? As New Orleans as it gets in Mid-City, the quintessential New Orleans neighborhood restaurant, a taste of New Orleans, big portions, great for sharing. New Orleans specialties, old school, kind of a homey place for Creole, New Orleans, Italian type eats. A lively neighborhood spot with pizzas and po' boys. A Mid-City mainstay. More is better, more of the good things. 5 o'clock whistle, brought to you by Katie's in Mid-City. Lunch and dinner Monday through Saturday, brunch on Sunday. Go check out Katie's brunch on Sunday. And don't forget about Scott Craig's other place, Francesca Deli and Pizzeria in Lakeview, in the old Charlie's Deli location. The 5 o'clock whistle on a Fantasy Friday, brought to you by Katie's in Mid-City. There she blows. Corey Johnson with you. Thanks so much for joining us. Hot out there, but not quite as brutal, I guess, as it could be. Well, maybe so. 98 degrees. Feels like 106. This high 80s gimmick will continue through Monday or Tuesday of next week. And then we'll get back, hopefully, to those low to mid 90s at the worst. Not mid to high 90s that we've been experiencing for about the last 4 or 5 days, and will continue to experience for about the next 4 or 5 days. High today, we're experiencing right now, 98. Tomorrow, 98. Sunday, the high, 98. Monday, 99. Tuesday, 98. So unseasonably high. When you throw in the feels like temperature, instead of like 93, feels like 99, it's 98 feels like 112. So it's like a, 8, 10, 12 degree feels like temperature difference, which is severe because it's already hot, humid summertime in New Orleans. The key to all of this, 2 things: stay out of it and stay hydrated. Stay out of it and drink as much water as possible. If you have to go in it, like I'll go play some golf this weekend, I'll hydrate up pretty good, before I hit the course. And then I'm going to drink throughout, being on the course. And also I'm going to put on sunblock, and I'll wear a big old floppy hat. If I could wear like what Scarlett and Gone with the Wind wore, I'd wear that big old hat that goes beyond my shoulders if I could. That sombrero that isn't really for wearing on one's head. It's like a party favor. It's on the table. It's full of cervezas or food. It's like 5 feet across. I'd be wearing that on the golf course to block the sun out. I've thrown out my Sun Buddy idea, Jason. Sun Buddy. Someone's going to do it. I just don't have the time. It is a thin Teflon sheet, as thin and lightweight as possible. That is totally, with a sunblock treatment on it. A super thin, lightweight Teflon type sheet. Maybe 20 feet by 20 feet. With a drone. You hook the little piece in your pocket or hook it onto your waistband. And the Sun Buddy, the Shade Buddy, stays in between you and the sun, continuously keeping a nice bit of shade on you. You could use the Shade Buddy on the tennis court. You could use the Shade Buddy while fishing. You could use the Shade Buddy while playing golf. The Shade Buddy coming to a store or intranet sales place soon. There's going to be a Shade Buddy buzzing around over your head because someone's going, that's Corey's idea. Yeah, but Frank Magoo from Walla Walla, Washington followed through and got it done. The Shade Buddy coming soon. No, we all could use a Shade Buddy. It's hot as hell. It really is. The umbrella is a good gimmick if you're going to be outside. Ideally one that's like white or silver. That's going to, reflect the... That's another thing I don't understand. Folks that wear dark colors in the sun, like You're going to play golf or tennis. You're going to go do work in the yard, and you're wearing like black or maroon or brown or dark blue or dark red or something like that. I just don't get it. I don't know. When I'm in that stuff, I want something that's going to reflect the heat, right? White, silver, some light color. Anyway, stay hydrated out there. Hey, Frank Brigtsen is going to join us in 5 minutes talking something we all love, food. We don't eat to live. We live to eat in New Orleans. I don't know about you. I can't think of a meal that I just sort of eat to get through. Like, yeah, I'm eating this crab. It's not so good, but just have to get some food, nutrition, protein in me. Just about every meal I eat is something pretty good. Something pretty good. Like Lebanon's Cafe. How about Lebanon's tonight for dinner? Open till 9:30. 6 lamb chops with 2 Middle Eastern sides, 20-something bucks. That's unheard of. Authentic, priced right, large portions. Tonight for dinner, Lebanon's Cafe. That's in the Carrollton section of Uptown, where we're heading next. Frank Brigtsen joins us on the program. You're on the neutral ground. Don't move.
When a young man comes in and they walk into our store, and you can see they're a little intimidated. Last week, I saw the young man. I said, "Hey, what can I do to give you a hand?" And he said, "Well, I'm here for an engagement ring, but I don't think I'm in the right place." So I got him to my desk, and within an hour, he had purchased an engagement ring, had spent $1,000, and he was treated like he spent a lot more, and I'm sure we have a customer for life. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Veterans Boulevard, where the brothers Fausto and Roland are serving some of the city's finest Sicilian and Italian cuisine. From New Orleans' first family of Sicilian and Italian cooking, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet. Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line. Lebanon's Cafe.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live, we live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
Served in New Orleans' finest restaurants, Leidenheimer French bread.
I have the mango, I have cantaloupe, I have tangerine, I have garlic green, I have eaten bread, and I have melatonin, I have oranges and banana, I have pineapple, I have spinach, I have cauliflower, sweet potatoes, orange potatoes. I have Corey Johnson on the radio. Sometimes he makes sense, so listen to his show.
I got mangoes. Sometimes he makes sense. Come on, Mr. Okra, all the time. Yeah, you right. I miss Mr. Okra. That's as New Orleans as it gets. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Corey Johnson with you. Hey, every day you listen to this program every weekday afternoon, 4 to 6, on radio, on television, on YouTube, live streaming, CoreyTalks.com. Lots of ways to check us out. It's always brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex and now Lamarck Crescent City Ford on Jefferson Highway in Elmwood. That's right, the legendary Ford truck and SUV dealership, Crescent City Ford, now under the Lamarck umbrella. Every day this program brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex and now Lamarck Crescent City Ford. It's a little after 5:20 on a Friday. Let's go to the Carrollton section of Uptown, the Riverbend, Dante Street, Brigtsen's Restaurant. Frank Brigtsen joins us again. How you doing, Frank?
I'm doing great, Corey Johnson. How are you, sir?
Doing great, man.
TGIF.
Always a pleasure. Where's our TGIF?
TGIF.
There it is. There it is. Boy, you know what's great about Brigtsen's? You know, folks, if you're in Uptown, you're in Mid-City, it's right down Carrollton at the river. If you're in Old Jefferson, Old Metairie, it's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway hits River Road. You just beeline down River Road, come across the train tracks by Oak Street, continue down River Road about 6 blocks. There's that Dante Village Shopping Center with the Talbots, the Auric place, and some others. You can park right there and walk about what, Frank, about 25, 30 feet to Brigtsen's front door?
That's it. Right next to Ballin's Dress Shop right there in the Dante Village.
Yep.
And I can vouch for the fact that we are 18 minutes from River Ridge.
I said Talbots, but it's Ballin's. My bad.
Ballin's, yeah.
Yep.
My neighbors, they've been here longer than me.
Yep. No, it's lit up. It's right on River Road, parking for probably 60 cars, 50 cars or something. It's right there. It's a blessing, Frank, to have that parking lot.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's one of the best parts of this building. As a restaurant, we need a lot of parking, and Dante Village provides that, safe, easy, right there.
It's kind of neat that Dante Village, I guess, 30 years old, brown brick, kind of a neat little shopping center that fits in kind of nicely. But right when you get past the edge of it, Frank, and it goes from the back of that building to your little Creole cottage, you've got all these trees over the sidewalk, crepe myrtles, oak trees. You fade right into like kind of sultry New Orleans in an instant.
Exactly. And we got those crepe myrtles out front, like you mentioned. And I think compared to some other parts of the city, we have so much tree cover here.
Yep.
Lots of shade, a good feel too, a good vibe.
Yeah, no doubt. And then 100-year-old Creole cottage, Brigtsen's Restaurant. What you got cooking tonight, Frank?
Well, we're all into watermelon. I don't know about you. The hottest thing this week, we're doing this goat cheese salad with watermelon and apples and balsamic vinaigrette. We take a disc of goat cheese and batter it with panko breadcrumbs and pop it in the fryer for just a minute or two so it warms up.
Wow.
And put that on top of the salad with this wonderful watermelon I've been getting. Sweet, sweet, sweet.
Watermelon's so good, isn't it?
Oh, it surely is. It's also featured on our Coolinary salad. We're doing Coolinary for the whole month of August, Corey.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's a 3-course menu for $50. It starts with a choice of soup or salad. The soup is a really interesting curried shrimp bisque. And the salad is mixed greens, watermelon, feta, pistachios, and pickled onions, and a balsamic vinaigrette. Really nice summer salad. We're getting a lot of compliments on that. And then your airline chicken breast is back.
That's so good. What is an airline chicken breast, Frank?
Well, it's a boneless skin-on chicken breast with the drumette attached. And the name comes from two possibilities on it. They actually used to serve a chicken breast like that on an airplane back in the 50s because you could pick it up and eat it. You could pick it up by the bowl.
Wow.
And it also kind of resembles an airplane with a wing on it, you know.
Yep. No, it's what's so great about that. We all like, Americans, give me the filet, give me the all, white chicken breast, skinless, boneless. With the drumette connected, that means all the skin stays on, all that fat and flavor. Really, it's night and day compared to if it was just a boneless, skinless chicken breast. It's not even comparable.
No, it really does make a big difference, And for us, like everything, we cook it to order, so it's not pre-cooked and sitting in a steam table drying out. When you order the chicken, we heat up a skillet with a little olive oil, and we sear the skin side, and then flip it over, and then finish it in a 500-degree oven for a few minutes until it's just done. So when you get it, it's piping hot, juicy, and moist. And we're serving that with fontina cheese grits with a New Orleans red gravy, which is like a marinara sauce with brown roux and chicken stock in it as well.
Nice.
Really nice combo. And our fish course, the main course, is grilled redfish with our smoked corn sauce and a chipotle black bean salsa.
So you choose the chicken or the fish for your entree.
Correct. Yeah.
You choose the soup or your salad for your starter.
Fish. And then we have 3 of our great desserts. We have the pecan pie, of course, with caramel sauce and whipped cream.
So good.
We have the lemon icebox creme brulee, which is so refreshing in the summer.
Yep.
And our bread pudding, which is white chocolate bread pudding with white chocolate sauce. So you get a choice of all those Brigtsen classics.
You had been a culinary guy since its inception. Didn't you guys not do it last year, Frank?
Yeah, I missed the Coolinary. I love it. It's a program developed by New Orleans and Company, the old Tourist Commission.
Yep.
To jumpstart business for restaurants in the summertime when we don't have a lot of visitors. It spurs locals to get out and explore new restaurants or visit old ones that they love. And it became our best month, August, our best month of the year because of Coolinary. And pandemic, of course, kind of took that away from us for a little bit. We did not do it last year for the same reason. We weren't just not feeling it. And then this year I was a little unsure, and then I jumped on board last minute, and they were kind enough to let me in. And you can go visit CoolinaryNewOrleans.com and see all the menus from all the restaurants participating. There's probably 50 restaurants offering a 3-course or more fixed price menu. Great stuff. It gives us a chance to be a little creative, do things a little different maybe.
Yep.
If you love a restaurant, go visit them. If you want to explore new one, it's a good opportunity to do that.
Plus, you get a lot of bang for the buck. I mean, I'm just throwing out general figures. You know, the soup or the salad, that's going to be 10, 12, 15 bucks. You know, the dessert, you know, 10, 12 bucks. Entree could be 35 bucks, 38 bucks. I mean, you could be at $60, $70 on a 3-course meal at many restaurants, including yours.
Exactly.
And for 50 bucks, you get all three. That's pretty damn good.
Yeah, I think so, and it's a doable number for us. We're using the best ingredients like always.
Of course,
that's the best chicken available. Bell and Evans chicken, air dried, all natural, organic chicken. Beautiful redfish. We're serving a large 6-ounce fillet, grilled on our flat top griddle, so it's nicely seared.
Yep.
And the corn we're getting, oh my gosh, this corn we're using for the smoked corn sauce, it's that yellow and white corn, variegated color.
Yep.
And it is so sweet and delicious. It's so fresh and sweet and delicious. So that's a standout to me.
Hey, Frank, what are some of the regular menu items you got going? Maybe a little seafood and I don't know. It's hard not to talk about the pork chop if you still have that going, and that even that filet. Oh, yeah. You know, folks think like a filet is settling. You know, you got to have it on the menu. Nothing is a settle at Brigtsen's, and that filet with that sauce, it might be one of the best steaks you'll ever eat.
Thank you. Yeah, the beef has actually been selling quite well. This is a 6-ounce certified Angus beef filet. And it's served with a tasso marchand du vin sauce, tasso red wine, mushrooms, onions.
So good.
And topped with fried shallot rings. The tasso is a cured smoked pork that I make myself. And that's served with mashed potatoes and sauteed veg, of course. We do have the pork chop with fontina cheese grits and andouille pan gravy. And we got flounder today for the first time in a month. We got flounder as our Meunier fish today. So pan-fried flounder fillet with roasted pecans and Meunier sauce.
Oh, boy, you're tempting me now. What's the gumbo?
Well, we're back to our standard filet gumbo with chicken and andouille sausage.
So good.
And again, you know, this is Bell and Evans chicken, the best money can buy, and Chef Paul's andouille sausage. That's always a winner. One of my favorite dishes on the planet.
No, it's incredible. I mean, right now I'm like, Friday night, I might go to Brigtsen's. I might get start off with that. Maybe get my barbecue shrimp, get that flounder. It's hard. I'm like your 7:30 table. Hard to deviate from the stuff that's as good as it gets.
I'm good with that. You know, as a chef and a restaurant owner in particular, I look at the menu in two different ways. There's the craver dishes, like you're craving barbecue shrimp and the flounder Meunier.
So good.
People come in knowing what they're going to order. And then there's the other people that want something different. What's new? What's the special? What's different? And they want to explore and try something new.
Yep.
So we try to answer both questions.
Yeah, you got to. You got to keep the staples that people expect and love, and then you got to have some stuff that gets people, that crave something different.
Yeah, absolutely, and it keeps it fun for us as chefs in the kitchen too.
Yep.
This watermelon salad, goat cheese salad, started out as a tomato salad, and I developed the dish. And then I tasted the tomatoes I bought, and they were terrible. I said, I'm not serving these.
Wow.
And one of my chefs said, that'd be good with watermelon. And another chef said, that'd be good with apples. So I put both.
They were right.
And they were absolutely right, man. We get a lot of compliments on this goat cheese salad. It goes back to a salad I had at the original La Provence with Chef Chris Carigiorgio.
Wow.
It has to be 28, 30 years ago, Corey.
I mean, which location? The one in Metairie, the one in Mid-City, the one in the East?
No, La Provence. In
Lacombe. Chris Carigiorgio. Yeah, my bad. I thought you were. I was thinking your boy Crozier. Exactly. No, La Provence, the Greek cooking French.
Yes, exactly. And I ordered the goat cheese salad there, and it came out warm, and it was crusted with crushed pistachios. And I was just blown away. And that's what inspired me to do this dish.
Wow. Sounds fantastic. I miss La Provence, and Chef Chris was amazing. I miss La Riviera and Chef Gaffredo. I mean, those places were special.
Man. Those are my heroes. We used to take a trip across the lake to La Provence at least twice a year.
Yep.
For birthdays, anniversaries, and he always, you talk about feeling like you're in somebody's home. He would send us home with a loaf of homemade bread and a salami, and I mean, he was just the loveliest host and the greatest chef. So wonderful.
And those two characters, you were one of the first over there at the Chef's Charity for Children. You got to see those guys cooking and joking around. They were hysterical together.
They were so funny. They were like Martin and Lewis, Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis.
Yep.
Hilarious.
Yep.
And just brilliant restaurateurs.
Yep, they really were. The Greek guy and the Italian guy. Now, I remember the stories, too, I hear about Gaffredo was, I didn't know, but was like at the Village in Baton Rouge, which was a fantastic restaurant a few generations ago. And just amazing the places these chefs go and the imprint, what they leave behind.
Yeah, and I believe those guys met. They were both working on a cruise ship, and they both wound up in New Orleans. Chris started as a maitre d', I believe, at Royal Orleans.
Wow.
Yeah, he was a trained chef, but he also knew hospitality, of course. So he started as a maitre d', I think, at the Royal Orleans.
Unbelievable. That really is. Hey, Frank, we missing anything at the restaurant? Any food items you need that we didn't talk about?
That's about it, man. Come see us. Think about Coolinary, y'all. Book a table for next week anytime. Come enjoy this menu while it lasts throughout the month of August.
Any openings tonight or tomorrow night?
I think tonight's booked. Maybe tomorrow on the 8 o'clock shot.
861-7610. That's the number at Brigtsen's. 861-7610. Put it in your phone. 861-7610. Also, to-go orders. You can order a to-go order and go pick it up. Brigtsens.com has all the details. Frank, always a pleasure.
Yeah, enjoy it, Corey. Y'all have a great weekend, y'all. Jump in the pool and stay in the AC.
That's good advice. Frank Brigtsen joining us from his restaurant. Get to Brigtsen's. Check out that Coolinary menu. That's tough to beat. 3-course meal for $50 at Brigtsen's. Come on. 861-7610, the phone number at Brigtsen's in the Riverbend. Says booked up tonight, but some openings tomorrow night. Even when a restaurant's booked up, like Brigtsen's, you'll have your to-go place that you can go to, that there's always a table available. I'll before I walk out the door to go to my, to-go place, I'll call Brigtsen's or whatever high-end restaurant like that. Hey, any cancellation, table available? So you'll be shocked. People eat quicker than they thought and leave, don't hang around, don't have a lot of drinks, or people don't show up or they cancel their reservation and kaboom, a table's available right away. Yes, we just had a cancellation. How long until you're here? 10 minutes. We'll hold your table. That's just tough to beat. And it happens more often than you think. You've got the to-go place, the homey place you can always go to that you can get a table. So it's not like you're nervous or worried about where are we going to go eat, You've decided. But then call a place like Brigtsen's and see if there's a cancellation. You'll be shocked. Maybe 1 out of 3, 1 out of 4 times you're going to get in. It is a Friday. Frank's right. Stay hydrated, jump in the pool, stay cool. Every day we broadcast live from the Buddy Diliberto, River City's Total Maintenance Studios. I love Fair and Honest Lucas and the boys because I don't want to learn about air conditioning. I want someone I can unequivocally trust. Never have to worry about getting ripped off. That's Fair and Honest Lucas and the boys at River City's Total Maintenance. Lucas will never do any service or repair or replacement that is not absolutely necessary. So honesty, that's key. Because like I said, I don't want to learn about air conditioning. I want to trust. Air conditioning experts, that's also key. 35 plus trucks, 35 plus techs, centuries worth of experience combined. They're going to diagnose it right away. They're not going to guess and replace a part and it's still broken and guess again and replace a part and it's still broken. They're going to diagnose it right away. When my air conditioning had a problem about, 6-9 months ago, Lucas diagnosed it over the phone correctly. Literally. Honest air conditioning experts that come immediately. The third part of the equation that's key. Coming immediately. It's hot outside. 98 degrees feels like 107. If your air conditioning's not working right, you want it fixed yesterday. Honest air conditioning experts that come immediately. They've got you covered at River City's Total Maintenance. NOLAAC.com is how you find them. NOLAAC.com is how you find them. Every day we broadcast live from the Buddy Diliberto, River City's Total Maintenance Studios.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom-made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
For Leidenheimer Baking Company, producing the perfect French bread is more than a vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop, for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Veterans Boulevard, where the brothers Fausto and Roland are serving some of the city's finest Sicilian and Italian cuisine. From New Orleans' first family of Sicilian and Italian cooking, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Hi, this is Joey Helm. My dad, Bunky Helm, had a vision of a locally family-owned store serving the residential and commercial paint needs of New Orleans. I think Dad would be proud of today's Helm Paint and Decorating, and here's why. We have the best technical staff in the business, providing the best color matching service in Southeast Louisiana. Perfect matching for any color and any brand. And we'll save your colors so you don't have to save those old cans. Helm Paint offers free 2-hour delivery. Our in-store decorators will assist you on deciding what color and type of paint to best showcase your home. But most importantly, as your local independent Benjamin Moore dealer, our products provide the greatest value in the paint industry. Superior coverage, and Benjamin Moore paint simply covers better and lasts longer. New Orleans is a city of vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, let us do you right. Helm Paint and Supply.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home. From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
That's Lafayette's own Sonny Landreth on guitar. This guy can play. Eric Clapton thinks he's a lot better than him. Check out some Sonny Landreth on YouTube or wherever you check out music over the weekend. You'll be glad you did. That guy can flat out play. Amazing talent. Corey Johnson with you on a Friday afternoon on a hot summer afternoon day. 97 feels like 106. Hey, if you're on the causeway right now, beeline into the North Shore, why don't you fire in a big to-go order at Trey Yen? Friday night, walking into the house with a big order from Trey Yen. Are you kidding me? With that homemade hot mustard, homemade sweet and sour, and their signature homemade sauce, that Tong Cho sauce. Sweet, spicy, outstanding. You know, Trey Yen is one of Metro New Orleans' best seafood restaurants. I'm not kidding you. I mean, you name the local fresh seafood, they got it at Trey Yen. Shrimp and crawfish and crabs and oysters and flounder and speckled trout. The Wong brothers, all gourmet chefs, love our seafood bounty. It's on display, ready for you to enjoy at Trey Yen. If you're going with a group, like there's maybe 4 or more of you at the table, order the honey pecan shrimp entree as an appetizer. The honey pecan shrimp entree as an appetizer. It's probably about a dozen, maybe 15 big, plump Gulf shrimp with these honey pecan sauce. These pecans are like roasted in their own little, kind of sweet little sauce. Absolutely incredible. A great appetizer for everyone to get a shrimp or two and some of those roasted pecans. Honey pecan shrimp entree. Take it as an entree, or if you got a few people at the table, make it an appetizer. You won't be disappointed. Trey Yen in Mandeville. It's not Chinese food. It's Chinese cuisine. Trey Yen in Mandeville. By the way, you're on the causeway. Curbside delivery. You just pull right in front. They walk it right out to your car. How easy is that at Trey Yen? One of the positives from the corona, crisis, COVID, shutdown, that 18-month, 2-year period. One of the positives here in New Orleans, you're always trying to spin a positive. If it was Katrina, it would be the public school system in New Orleans going away. 9,000 employees in a complete failing system, a disaster for decades, just wiped clean. No civic, civil service to protect the jobs. There's no schools. There's no students. There's no New Orleans. That was a positive from Katrina. BP oil disaster, billions of dollars to help rebuild our coast. Billions of dollars. You got to find silver linings in crap. Coronavirus crisis, hurting restaurants, tourism industry. Restaurants had to get creative. Restaurants pre-corona, 3, 4, 5 years ago, never doing any to-go orders. Never a to-go order. Our food doesn't travel well, blah, 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 blah. We don't want to do to-goes. We're a gourmet restaurant. You come in and eat. We don't put it in a to-go container. They're doing to-go orders now. Some even curbside delivery. And something just sinful, like we needed Corona to shake us up to do the right thing. New York, Manhattan. I'd say like 50% of the restaurants up there have outdoor dining. It could be cold and rainy and wet. They got outdoor dining. I don't want to sit out in 40 degrees while it's sleeting or something, and no one else does. But when the weather's okay, it could be 50. People are just going to bundle up and they're going to eat outside in New York. Some are going to eat inside. But the point is, New York pretty much has crappy weather, and they've got outdoor dining everywhere. How in New Orleans, like 4 years ago, pre-corona, maybe a dozen, 24 places citywide that had outdoor dining? Literally, maybe 20, 25 places in Metro New Orleans that had outdoor dining. Insane. Another silver lining. Coronavirus crisis, lots of restaurants now with outdoor dining. No, and that's a blessing. In this city, 6 months out of the year, we have outstanding weather for outdoor dining. Yeah, got to find the silver lining. Hey, New Orleans, best quality, best price, best selection. Tastes like home. They're over 60 Rouses. They've been doing it for over 60 years. There's a Rouse's Market in your neighborhood or right next door to your neighborhood. Rouse's Markets, tastes like home. That's a no-brainer. For me, 3 Rouse's within 10 minutes of my house, and the closest one about 5 minutes from my house. Seriously. 3 Rouse's within 10 minutes of my house, and one of them within 5 minutes. Rouse's Markets in your neighborhood or right next door to your neighborhood. Tastes like home. You can't go wrong at your neighborhood Rouse's. Hey, if you missed the 4 o'clock hour, you missed Fletcher Mackel, Fridays with Fletch. He was gloating, and I'm glad he's right, and I was wrong. Alvin Kamara receiving a 3-game suspension from the NFL. Cam Jordan signing a 2-year extension. He'll end his career as a New Orleans Saint. Michael Hecht joined us from Greater New Orleans Inc. Yesterday, the iconic Superdome turned 48 years old. What a transformational building. Talked with Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans Inc. Boy, we desperately could use something transformational in Metro New Orleans, huh? A game changer. Frank Brigtsen from Brigtsen's Restaurant joining us in the 5 o'clock powwow just a few minutes ago, talking food and New Orleans and all that good stuff. Yeah, if you missed all that, you missed a lot. St. Bernard Parish suing the Port of New Orleans to block the $1.8 billion container port project. I am hoping this is just posturing by St. Bernard, that they honestly want the project as much, if not more, than the port. And they're posturing, and they should, if this is what they're doing, for that connector road from the port to I-510 directly. Hurricane evacuation route, access road for the residents, a road for those trucks going in and out of the port. I hope that's all they're doing is leveraging for that and eventually leveraging for a Florida Avenue Expressway. Because if they're literally against it, my God, St. Bernard folks, this is a blessing, this port facility. This is like the flip side of Kaiser closing. This is huge for the parish. Huge. Hey, Young's Dry Cleaning's been at it since 1940. A New Orleans institution. If you don't like your dry cleaner and you simply want to experience the best, youngsdrycleaning.com, youngsdrycleaning.com.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore led us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson.
I bet his smells like sandalwood.
Corey Johnson.
He's absolutely magnificent.
Gotta keep this up till 6? Wow.
Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
Since 1896, a true taste of New Orleans. Leidenheimer French bread. Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Hey guys, it's Frank Smith from LasVegasGambling.com with your weekend 5-star lock of the week. Lock of the week. Lock of the week. Take the Lakers and the points over the Clippers. Sell the house, sell the boat, sell your children. Send grandma away and take the money. Put everything you've got on this 5-star selection. It's the Lakers over the Clippers. And we've also got a fantastic 5-star parlay as well. Call us now, 888-555-7777. It's Frank Smith, a.k.a. The Hammer, from LasVegasGambling.com. Do it now, now, now.
What's that, Frank? What are the selections again? Frank, you are the Hammer. Thanks so much, buddy. I'm putting all my money down. I'm going to sell the house, the boat, send grandma away. Thank you, Frank. Oh, wait, we're back on the air? Whoops. I was talking to Frank the Hammer Smith, getting my selections for the weekend. My God, football season, we're on the brink of it. Boy, some local radio stations. I played games with radio stations before in the past. There's one local station today. They're like hyper woke, get the mayor on and toss softballs. I always listen to that station and wait for like the white man's the devil or something like that. It pops up within about 30 seconds or a minute. I used to pop on to Rush Limbaugh about every 3-4 months and see how long it would take him to say Obama. And that usually took about 30 seconds or so. It's a crazy world we're living in. Be careful out there. What's that, Blue Boy? I should head to Fausto's tonight for Italian. New Orleans-inspired Sicilian and Italian at Fausto's on Vets. Blue Boy, they're open till 10. What a great suggestion, Fausto's on Vets. Have a great weekend. See you Monday.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson. On TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube. On radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
Hi, it's Ken Friend from Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business. Come see us over on Maple Street in Uptown.
Friend & Company Fine Jewelers, Breitling time, 6 p.m.